The moment someone turns against you is not a tragedy, it is a revelation. Loyalty did not break. Illusion did. You thought they were an ally. They were an opportunist waiting for leverage. You thought you were building together. They were calculating alone. Good, because now you see the board clearly. Weak men panic when betrayed. Powerful men take notes. Who moved first? Who stayed silent? Who suddenly changed tone? Who is watching from the shadows, waiting to side with the winner? Betrayal is intelligence gathering. If you have the discipline not to react emotionally, do not confront immediately. Do not explain. Do not defend yourself. Emotion is a confession of vulnerability. Instead, become still, colder, quieter, harder to read. When you stop reacting, people start revealing. Let them talk, let them speculate. Let them grow comfortable thinking you are wounded. A wolf does not announce that it is hunting. It disappears into the trees. Right now, your silence is not weakness, it is surveillance. Study their patterns, their allies, their insecurities, their ambitions. Every enemy carries the blueprint of their own destruction, but only visible to the patient observer. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Men offend either from fear or from contempt. So ask yourself, which one is it? Do they fear you, or do they believe you cannot retaliate? Your entire strategy depends on this diagnosis. Misread it, and you fight the wrong war. Read it correctly, and the outcome is inevitable. If you're still listening, comment this below. Silence is my weapon, not for motivation, for commitment. Because today, I'm going to give you 10 mental tricks, not to defend yourself, but to make anyone who turns against you regret ever choosing you as an enemy. By the end of this, you won't just recover, you'll become untouchable. And now, the real game begins. Trick number 1, emotional non-reactivity. Your enemy is not attacking your position first. They are attacking your nervous system. If they can make you angry, defensive, desperate, you will sabotage yourself for them. No strategy required. Emotion is the leash. Reaction is the pull. So you cut the leash. No heated replies. No long explanations. No visible agitation. Just controlled stillness. Because calm men are unreadable, and unreadable men are dangerous. When they provoke you and nothing happens, panic begins quietly inside them. Did it not work? Is he planning something? Why is he so calm? Now the hunter feels watched. This is power inversion. They expected chaos. You gave them silence. They expected weakness. You gave them discipline. And discipline is terrifying to impulsive people. Lower your voice when they raise theirs. Shorten your words when they ramble. Delay responses when they demand immediacy. You are not ignoring them. You are training them to realize they cannot control your state. A man who controls his reactions controls the interaction. A man who controls the interaction controls the outcome. Stoics didn't suppress emotion because they were numb. They did it because emotion leaks information, and information is ammunition. If this principle lands, comment. Calm is control. Because you are not trying to appear strong. You are removing every handle they could use to move you. Remember, anger makes you predictable. Calm makes you untouchable. Master this, and most enemies will exhaust themselves trying to provoke a reaction that will never come. Trick number 2, strategic distance. When conflict ignites, weak men move closer. They hover, they monitor, they obsess. Powerful men step back. Distance is not surrender, it is leverage. Because proximity feeds your enemy information, your mood, your plans, your weaknesses, your timing. Distance starves them. No access, no emotional readings, no predictable patterns. You become a blind spot, and humans fear what they cannot see or measure. When you withdraw calmly, their mind starts working against them. Why did he pull back? Is he regrouping? Did I misjudge him? Uncertainty spreads like poison. Predators prefer prey that runs in straight lines, not something that vanishes into terrain they don't control. Distance also clears your perception. Away from their noise, you see who drifts toward you and who drifts away, who was loyal and who was merely convenient. Conflict reveals networks, not just enemies. Machiavelli knew power depended on positioning more than force. From a distance, you see the whole board. Up close, you only see the opponent in front of you. If this makes sense, comment. Distance is leverage. Because you are not retreating from the fight, you are moving to ground where you cannot be surrounded, provoked, or drained. Remember, access to you is a resource. And the moment someone turns against you, that resource is revoked. Now they don't know where you are mentally, strategically, or socially. And an enemy who cannot locate you, cannot prepare for you. Which means when you move again, it won't feel like retaliation. It will feel like inevitability. Trick number 3, control the narrative before it controls you. The attack is never just against you. It is against your image. Because reputation is power stored in other people's minds, and your enemy is trying to bankrupt you socially before you can react. They will speak first. Emotionally, confidently, selectively, not to tell the truth, to establish the frame. And whoever frames the story directs the judgment. If you respond with panic, anger, or desperation, you confirm their version instantly. So you don't argue the narrative, you outclass it. No public meltdowns, no defensive speeches, no frantic clarifications, just visible stability. You continue working, moving, improving, living as if the attack changed nothing essential, because behavior outranks words. Observers start noticing the mismatch. If he's really unstable, why does he seem composed? If he's guilty, why isn't he scrambling? Doubt enters the room. And doubt is lethal to propaganda. Machiavelli understood that being despised is more dangerous than being hated. Desperation creates contempt. Composure creates gravity. People orbit stability. If this lands, comment. I define reality. Because you are not begging to be believed. You are demonstrating a version of you that contradicts the attack so strongly that others resolve the inconsistency themselves. Lies need constant energy to survive. Truth only needs time. Eventually, exaggerations slip. Motives surface. Patterns reveal intent. And when that happens, you don't celebrate. You remain steady. Because the man who controls himself eventually controls how others see him. Remember, you don't win by shouting the loudest. You win by becoming the most credible presence in the room. And credibility is power no one can easily take from you. Trick number 4, make yourself scarce, then valuable. When they turn against you, they expect pursuit, explanations, presence, proof that you still need their approval. Do not give them that satisfaction. Need erases power. Instead, you reduce access. Fewer replies, fewer appearances, fewer openings into your life. Not out of hurt, out of calculation, because constant availability breeds familiarity, and familiarity breeds disrespect. Scarcity reverses that equation. The moment you are no longer easy to reach, your perceived value begins to rise. People assume hidden importance behind controlled access. Why is he unavailable? What is he focused on? Did he outgrow this situation? Curiosity replaces dismissal. But understand this clearly. Scarcity without growth is invisibility. While you withdraw, you must be upgrading your body, your skills, your network, your discipline, your results. So when you reappear, you are not the same man they thought they could discard. You are heavier in presence, sharper in speech, harder to categorize. Machiavelli noted that men judge largely by appearances. Give them an appearance that contradicts their expectations. If this resonates, comment. Scarcity is strength. Because you are not hiding, You are reallocating energy from people who drain it to arenas where it compounds. Remember, your enemy wanted you diminished. Instead, you became rare. And rare things are not casually attacked. They are reconsidered, studied, sometimes even avoided. From this point forward, you are no longer trying to win them back. You are becoming someone they cannot afford to oppose. Trick number 5. Force them to reveal their true nature. You don't destroy enemies by exposing them. You destroy them by removing the mask and letting everyone else see what was always there. Direct accusations create debate. Self-exposure creates conviction. So you stop shielding them. No more smoothing tensions. No more private tolerance. No more absorbing their volatility to keep the peace. Just calm, visible boundaries. Firm, quiet, non-negotiable. To stable people, this looks normal. To unstable people, it feels like provocation. They push harder, speak louder, act uglier. Good. Pressure doesn't corrupt character, it reveals it. Stay composed while they escalate. Stay respectful while they become disrespectful. Stay controlled while they unravel. Soon, observers stop seeing two sides. They start seeing contrast. One man steady, one man emotional, one man disciplined, one man reactive. Machiavelli understood that given enough freedom, people indict themselves. Your role is not executioner. Your role is witness. Victory intoxicates the foolish. They grow careless, talk too openly, push beyond what is socially acceptable. And when they cross that invisible line publicly, consequences arrive without you lifting a finger. If this clicks, comment, character reveals itself. Because you are no longer fighting for dominance. You are letting reality argue on your behalf. Remember, anyone can win through chaos. But the man who stands still while another self-destructs wins authority, wins credibility, wins the room. And once you own the room, the outcome is no longer in doubt. Trick number 6. Become unpredictable. Your enemy is studying you, your routines, your reactions, your timing, your limits. Because predictability is the blueprint of control. If they know how you respond, they know how to provoke you. If they know your habits, they know where you're weak. If they know your patterns, they know where to strike. So you erase the pattern. Change response times, change availability, change tone, change movement, not erratically like a fool, deliberately like a strategist. One day you are distant, another day composed but engaged, sometimes silent, sometimes brief and precise, never emotional, never chaotic, just impossible to model. Unpredictability creates hesitation. Hesitation kills aggression. Because attacks require confidence in the outcome. When they can't forecast your behavior, every move feels risky. Will he ignore this? Will he escalate? Is he already planning something bigger? Now they are not attacking you. They are calculating survival. Machiavelli admired the fox as much as the lion, not for strength, but for cunning. The fox survives because traps depend on predictable prey. You are no longer prey, you are terrain. If this resonates, comment. Unpredictable is untouchable. Because you are not being inconsistent, you are being unreadable. Remember, a predictable man can be managed, an emotional man can be manipulated, but an unreadable man forces everyone around him to proceed with caution, and caution is respect in its rawest form. From this point forward, no one knows exactly what you will do next, which means no one feels safe moving against you. And when your enemy no longer feels safe, the balance of power has already shifted. Trick number 7. Build alliances in silence. Lone wolves are romanticized. Empires are built by networks. While your enemy is focused on you, you shift focus to everyone else. Not loudly, not politically, quietly. You strengthen relationships that were neutral. You deepen bonds that were casual. You show value where there was distance. No complaints, no gossip, no recruitment speeches. Just competence, reliability, and controlled presence. Because people align with strength, not sob stories. Machiavelli understood that power is rarely direct. It flows through intermediaries. When respected people trust you, their influence becomes your armor. Now, an attack on you is no longer an attack on one man. It is friction with a network. And most aggressors are not brave enough for that. Here is the crucial detail. You do not announce alliances. Visibility invites countermoves. Silence creates uncertainty. Your enemy starts noticing subtle shifts. People greeting you warmly. Doors opening more easily. Conversations stopping when they approach. They can't prove anything, but they feel the ground changing. And perception of isolation is terrifying. If this strategy makes sense, comment, "My network is my shield." Because power does not always roar. Sometimes it is simply the quiet knowledge that you are not alone and not easily cornered. Remember, an isolated man is easy to attack. A connected man is expensive to attack. From this point forward, you are no longer just defending yourself. You are embedding yourself into structures that outlast any single conflict. And once you become structurally valuable, opposing you stops looking like courage. It starts looking like stupidity. Trick number 8. Make success your silent retaliation. Petty men seek revenge. Powerful men seek elevation. Because nothing destabilizes an enemy more than watching you advance while their attack produces nothing. No breakdown, no collapse, no visible damage. Just progress. You improve your body, your finances, your skills, your discipline, your environment, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Not to prove them wrong, to make them irrelevant. Success reframes the entire conflict. What once looked like a serious attack now looks like noise made by someone beneath your trajectory. Observers recalibrate. If he was truly destroyed, why is he thriving? If the attack was justified, why does he look stronger? Reality contradicts the narrative, and reality always wins over time. Machiavelli warned that injuries must either be crushed completely or not attempted at all. Your enemy chose half measures, so now they must live with the consequences. They provoked a man who did not break. He evolved. Here is the cruelest part. Your growth becomes a permanent reminder of their failure. Every achievement reopens the wound. Every improvement invalidates their hostility. If this resonates, my success is revenge, because you are not trying to defeat them directly anymore. You are rising to a level where their opposition has no strategic value. Remember, destruction is temporary. Dominance is enduring. From this point forward, you are not fighting a person. You are building a life so solid, so disciplined, so forward-moving, that anyone who bet against you is forced to watch from below. And there is no harsher punishment than irrelevance. Trick number 9. Master the art of selective mercy. By now, you hold the advantage. You are calmer, stronger, less predictable, better positioned. And this is where most men make their final mistake. They rush to crush. But indiscriminate destruction creates new enemies, not lasting power. True dominance is the ability to end someone, and choosing not to. Selective mercy is not kindness, it is strategy. When you show that you could retaliate but refrain, observers register something unsettling. You are controlled. Confident, not driven by impulse. Machiavelli noted, "It is safer to be feared than loved, but ideal to be both feared and respected." Mercy, when backed by visible strength, produces respect without sacrificing fear. Your enemy now faces a worse reality than defeat. Uncertainty about your limits. Why didn't he strike back? Is he waiting? Does he consider me beneath retaliation? Nothing erodes a person faster than feeling insignificant. So you don't announce forgiveness. You don't reconcile emotionally. You simply move forward, without hostility, without closeness, without access. Cold civility. They exist. You exist. But they no longer matter. If this lands, comment, mercy is power. Because you are not sparing them for their sake. You are sparing them because annihilation would be a waste of your trajectory. Remember, anyone can destroy. Only the disciplined can dominate without descending. From this point forward, you are no longer defined by the conflict. You are defined by your control over it. And that is what makes a man truly untouchable. If you made it this far, like the video, subscribe to Machiavelli's Empire, and turn on notifications. And comment one last time. Untouchable. Not as a word, as a decision. Final principle. Become the man no one can afford to oppose. Understand this above all. The goal was never to defeat one enemy. That is small thinking. The real objective is to become a man for whom opposition is too costly. Not because you threaten loudly, not because you seek conflict, but because your discipline, position, and composure make attacks unprofitable. Predators choose easy targets. Gossip targets the reactive. Manipulators target the needy. You are none of those anymore. You are stable when provoked, silent when baited, strategic when challenged, relentless in self-development. This combination creates something rare: deterrence. Machiavelli understood that the strongest rulers were not constantly fighting rebellions. They made rebellion look suicidal. Your life should function the same way. When people evaluate whether to move against you, the calculation in their mind should be simple. Not worth it. Too disciplined. Too connected. Too composed. Too forward-moving. So conflicts die before they begin, and the few who still choose hostility expose themselves as irrational to everyone watching. If this transformation speaks to you, comment, "I am not the one." Because this is no longer about revenge, ego, or proving anything. It is about becoming structurally difficult to harm. Remember, power is not loud. Power is not emotional. Power is not reactive. Power is the quiet certainty that you cannot be easily shaken, replaced, or cornered. From this moment forward, you don't chase respect. Your presence extracts it. If this sharpened your mindset, like the video, subscribe to Machiavelli's Empire, and turn on notifications so you never miss what most men will never be taught. And before you leave, comment one final time. Untouchable by design. Not a wish. A blueprint.